Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Thanks to the Washington Post and any other sponsors. We appreciate the platform today. The president is working on a bipartisan, forward-looking speech that's positive in tone and content. And what that really means is, when working on this speech, it's a reflection on the past year's accomplishments, but also those accomplishments not as just checking a box, a to-do list, but really, what is the nexus between what has happened and your own life or your own business or your own aspirations? And then how is that a framework for working together in 2018? I would point out a few things. They're pretty recent. One is about 2-3 weeks ago now, the president held forth for 55 minutes, uninterrupted, undeterred, unscripted, with a bipartisan, bicameral group of legislators in the cabinet room. It was quite unexpected, I think, mainly by the media, the press pool who were covering it, and by all accounts, we're very pleased to have that kind of transparency and live, again, unfiltered and unscripted exchange between the president and the legislators. That's good for transparency, accountability, democracy, really, and it's that kind of conversation we need to keep having. That particular issue was about, that particular meeting was about immigration, and you see an openness and a flexibility by this president very recently on the DACA recipients, the Dreamers. He will address that tomorrow in his speech. Immigration will be one of the major 5 or 6 points covered. And I would also go back to August 21st, when the president came out with his Afghani policy speech, speech about Afghanistan. A little bit of a diversion from where he was during the campaign, having consulted with those on the ground and his generals and his national security team. I know you wrote about it at the time and were criticized for saying it's a new president, new President Trump on Afghanistan, new strategy, but indeed it was. So I'd just like to show those as examples of openness and flexibility. It will be bipartisan in tone and content because that's the only way to function in this town and as a democracy. We saw during the government shutdown, very unfortunate, that folks wanted the government shut down, but you saw to reopen the government, you literally needed 60 votes, so you needed bipartisan cooperation. We were very happy that many Democrats came around, bucked their party's leadership, and voted to reopen the government a week ago.